Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. A little podcast here for you on today's 29th of June, 2026. And we're going to look ahead for about a week and what the energies are right now. So today is Monday, the 29th of June. And yeah, we're at the end of the middle of the year. We're coming into July. And yeah, it feels the year has been going already pretty swiftly. And whoa, what a whirlwind it is at the moment. I feel maybe a lot of us have been feeling it, a lot of push and pull energy. The urge to here in the southern hemisphere, we are in winter time and in the peak of winter, and the northern hemisphere, the peak of summer is coming. So we are right at very potent times of the year. And so we just had the solstice on the 21st of June. So we're really ushering in a whole new season. Excuse me. And so this week, as we're bringing in July, it's wild. It really is. So this week we got a full moon in Capricorn. We can already see. So today the moon is still in the sign of Sagittarius at the moment. She's moving along, and tomorrow will come to a peak at 9 degrees of Capricorn. So I'm just going to bring that up now. So tomorrow on the 30th at around 11 a.m., um, we are having or closer to 10 a.m. We're having a full moon with the moon in Capricorn, the sun in the sign of Cancer, which is um, that interplay, the opposition of Cancer, which is nurturing, looking after ourselves, feeling safe and secure, slowing down, being more internalized towards the moon in Capricorn, where the moon is the furthest away from where Lady Luna is comfortable in, because Lady Luna rules Cancer. In Capricorn, there is like a poker face kind of energy. We are more focused. We are not having as much fun. It can feel a bit more serious. There is an eye for what needs to be done, great responsibility, and also not allowing emotions all that much. So it's an interesting energy dynamic because we have a strong team Cancer with the sun for the next about 3 weeks, still in the sign of Cancer. Happy birthday, all the Cancerians, the gentle beings. Cancer is about, a spirit of gentleness. We're going within. We are here in the southern hemisphere. We are in winter time. We are hibernating. And as we know, Cancer loves the comfort of its own home. Lots of Cancerians often love working at home, or bringing their own home to wherever they go, needing the comfort, the safety. So beautiful time to really look after ourselves, to self-nurture. And Jupiter at the last degree point of Cancer, very expansion of emotions. Our emotionality could be through the roof. We are getting triggered and we're feeling a deep sense of old pain body stuff. So we got to be aware and careful, to not go into victim, but to acknowledge what's happening, to cry if we feel the urge. It's a beautiful time to release lots of water. And of course, as the full moon is piling up, is coming to a culmination, there is more emotionality. Everything is more heightened. The tides, the inner waters, we could feel a bit more watery this time of the month. And so there's quite it's a peak. Something is coming to consciousness, and also finding that balance between being outside, being inside, that how much time am I spending for myself? How much time am I dedicating towards other tasks, work? Capricorn is it works a lot, lots of responsibilities, very very determined to the task, and there's a great sense of authority, responsibility, sovereignty, our own being our own author, and finding the balance of it all. And so I feel particularly this week, it's really crucial that we find time for ourselves, that we can ground, that we can be very present, and also where we are, where our energy flows, so that we can always feel nourished from a place that we are wanting to give to another. So it's really the balancing act. So tomorrow, a full moon in Capricorn, in square to Neptune, in a wider square to Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, so we can feel it even more if there's anything where we've been holding ourselves back, where we feel held back, any kind of feelings that might arise with authorities, where we even our own inner dialogue, where we tell ourselves, I can't, I shouldn't have, any kind of negative self-talk. So a lot can come, can bubble up, and or something in our environment, something or someone saying, no, you can't. So there can be a deep sense of feeling, yeah, somewhat held back, feeling, am I safe to allow emotions here? Especially that there's so much happening in the background of this situation here. So also what's going on. So tomorrow, 30th of June, last day of the month, a big full moon. And full moons are, yeah, because they can be so emotional, and people are more reactive at that time, especially because feelings are running very deeply, and often we don't want to show our feelings, or there's a lack of safety. We want to hide away a bit. We are very sensitive. So it's often a time to, yeah, important to spend time alone, to process things, to make sure we're not projecting onto others. We can really sit with what arises. There's just so much, yeah, so much going on in our inner world. But wait, that's not all. We have a lot going on just today and tomorrow. Mercury is now stationing to go retrograde in the sign of Cancer as well. So which is very interesting. I don't like that word all that much, but it's interesting. We have Mercury in the sign ruled by the moon. Mercury rules our cerebral qualities, our mind, our how we're processing information, our memory. But it's the memory that's connected to the brain, what we remember. Then we have the Lady Luna ruling Cancer, which is our emotional memory. So going retrograde now, Mercury is stationing to go retrograde. We are all the rewords, readjusting, reflecting, reorganizing, re-energizing ourselves. So we need to be very aware, especially today and tomorrow, 29th and 30th, into the 1st of July. We may not getting done what we wish to get done, or we feel like, whoa, I've been up all early morning, I started doing this, I feel like I've done nothing. So being really cutting ourselves some slack, being very compassionate, knowing that there is nowhere we need to rush, nowhere to go. I am enough. I'm simply because I'm here existing, I'm giving this day, this point in time, the best shot again to the best of my abilities. I'm good enough. Because I feel with Mercury in Cancer, we can have that negative self-talk of not being good enough, or um, which can be also then in regards to the full moon as well, where Saturn can have that negative self-talk of not being good enough. And um, so we need to be very aware of our communication. It's a time of gentleness, communicating with great sensitivity, with gentleness, especially because this is a week of heightened reactivity, not just because of the full moon and we're edgy and lunatics, as the word says, lunatics. They could bring out the lunatic in ourselves, and to be very aware. And Mercury is the messenger god, the god that comes when we're at a crossroads to take us into our deep subconscious. A really good time over the next 3 weeks to prepare, to declutter, but also to declutter our pain body, maybe our shadow self, our victim, our yeah, just deeply felt emotions that are ready to be looked at, to readjust, to remember those parts within that are ready for, for a cleanup, for a refreshing refreshment. Also with Mercury, because Mercury loves to move fast. With Mercury gets us from A to B, is a swift messenger. We are doing deals just like that. And then every time Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year for those 3 weeks, we want to be a bit more careful, um, and slowing down. It's a beautiful time that wants to slow us down, slowing down the mind. Mercury slows down the mind, but also our emotionality. So it's really important to looking after ourselves, doing your yoga class, whatever you want to do that gives you that sense of nurture, groundedness, really, really important over those next 3 weeks because we are revisiting old themes. Particularly Cancer is that sign, the one and only sign that holds on, that can contain a lot, that finds it really hard to step out of a situation. There's a certain, containment of feeling. So we may want to revisit that inner world and giving ourselves that self-love, the spirit of gentleness, particularly as Jupiter right now, also at the last degree point. So Jupiter expands everything. So our emotions could be blown out of proportion. Really big, big times here. And then looking at Jupiter, we're only hours away for Jupiter to do his 12-year thing. Jupiter um, goes around in about 12 years. So Jupiter's moving into the sign of Leo. Also tomorrow on the 30th, it feels like, whoa, Mercury stationing. There's not much movement, not much communicating. It's a time of standing still. Then we have Jupiter, the expansion of feeling for the last year. Jupiter through Cancer been highlighting again, our emotions exalted in Cancer, also giving us greatest healing opportunities, a greater sense of a poetic encounter with ourselves, of slowing down, of so now this Jupiter moves into Leo, the sign of the heart, the expansion of the heart. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., Jupiter in Leo, and will stay there for about a year again. So that's a big, bold, courageous energy that wants to bring the fire in, the warmth of gathering around the hearth, particularly here in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a time to have your fires going and the hearth that is nurturing and watching a fire to purify. Leo is childlike, playful. It's a sign of the lovers, the sign of creation. So we're really coming into a phase over the next 12 months, which is super exciting. We want to create, we want to expand that sense of childlike playfulness, sexuality, creation, um, beautiful, beautiful energy that's coming in. So saying that, we could feel that push and pull over this next couple of weeks, also with Mercury retrograde, that wants to slow us down, that wants us to reflect, to revisit something that's deep inside of us. And then we have that big heart energy that wants to open our hearts also to the present moment. Again, knowing that we don't have to push for anything. Everything is in divine flow, in divine timing, but it's a beautiful energy that's coming in. And this Jupiter, and I'll talk about that in my next podcast, will also then come into opposition with Pluto. So there's a lot going on, but I'm not going to jump ahead because this week is already so loaded, loaded with new energies, loaded with a new sense of being. If Jupiter moving into Leo, depending where it is in your chart, it gives us a new sense of rebirthing almost. The fifth house is the house of joy, of recreation, of reproduction, of yeah, life force, of essential life force. So it's exciting. There's maybe a new sense of vitality that is coming through and giving us a new joy of life, which is much needed, I feel, among all the also the suppressive things, that the container that also wants to be nurtured and honored. So it's a divine dance, I can say that. And then also what's happening this week, we're going ahead a couple of days and we can already feel it. Just today, Mars moved into the swiftly sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. So another interesting energy. We got Mercury, the messenger god, slowed down, but Mars, our will and assertion, and Gemini is quick. We have new ideas. We might want to invent stuff. We want to be more social. We're gonna have opportunities coming in. We are more communicative. We our brain is switched on. Our doing and our brain comes together. It's lots of ideas, lots of sharing, innovative. And that's a fast-paced energy, exaggerating and exciting our nervous system. So that's one thing. Gemini rules the nervous system, coming together with Uranus. Mars is coming together this week with Uranus, also ruling the nervous system, double whammy, triple whammy here. And then there is Mars. Mars is the war god, the our drive, our will. How do I go for what I want? Am I reacting? Am I responding? I want what I want now. It's swift. It goes from A to B. So this is a week and into next week to be really careful also of our movements, especially if there is an emotional undercurrent where we feel like, oh, I'm emotional, and then there's this reaction we can experience maybe in our environment, hopefully not within ourselves, because we want to try to find that equilibrium. There can be outbursts, there can be sudden revelations, there can be fiery natures, there can be people losing their shit, especially full moon, Mercury stationing retrograde. We want to assert our will. We're gonna want to run from A to B. We have this idea. We want to go. We are also maybe there's some anger, frustration. So we want to be really aware of it's an accident, injury prone week. We want to be really more careful. Again, doing things, being very present. Okay, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be rageful. Can I let that steam off before in a healthy way and not just hop in the car and rush off and get somewhere, or we could be feeling rushed as well because so the energies are like really pushing and pulling this week. We want to move forwards. There might be new opportunities, but then it's like, whoa, not so fast. Go inside, check in. How does that feel? How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel safe? Does it give you a sense of security, a sense of nurture? Have you looked after yourself today, or are you just headlessly running from A to B? It can be very positive, new opportunities, new business connections, new ideas, sudden revelations. So it's really, really heightened this energy in so many ways. And there's a lot of newness to it. We could be overwhelmed. Also, there's a lot of downloads at the moment. Our bodies could be overwhelmed. Whoa, how am I processing this? It's fast, it's slow. I feel I'm not getting anywhere, but there's this pull. So it's really, whoa, can I take a breather? Especially Chiron now, Chiron over the next 3 months till September in the sign of Taurus, giving us a taster to tap into our body. Simplicity is key. Back to nature, back to my own nature, connection with nature, grounding, being more aware, being living more sustainable, only eating when I need to eat, not overindulging. There can also be sometimes that urge to, I want this now, and we tend to get into that human trap of wanting things now or quick fix and quick this. And so there is that reminder with Chiron in Taurus that healing comes through a deep connection with the self and the body sense and the bodily physical healing that comes with it. And as a holistic tool when we can reflect. Or as Victor Schauberger said, we observe nature, we copy nature because nature shows us her beauty in every way. And yeah, the flow of everything, the death, the rebirth, and whew, so this is huge. We have a lot of energies. We have a nice um elemental balance in some ways. Well, not enough earth. We need to ground earth, nature. That's a good thing. Important to embrace Cancer season. Go within, reflect, take it easy, take it slow, because Cancer doesn't want to do things if there isn't a sense of safety. And Mars in Gemini until the 10th, 11th of August. So it's quite a big stint. We are into it 10th, 11th of August, Mars in Gemini in the Mercury ruled sign. And we're not getting out of Mercury in Cancer also until early August. So there is that divine dance between moving forward and also stepping back. And we could sway a bit and sometimes getting stirred up and feeling reactive. And where can we find the middle path to embrace our full humanness, to meet one another in that whirlwind of energies? And yeah, the nodes of the moon at the last degree point of showing us, bringing the sacred into the mundane with every breath. And a commitment to self as well this week, a beautiful alignment, committing to self, a spiritual notion, keep on going, don't give up. We may have days where we feel like, oh, I haven't done much or nothing much is happening. Just keep on going step by step. We are all divinely guided. On this note, I'm gonna leave it with you for this week. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the best with navigating, embracing the full moon. Maybe, yeah, standing under the reflective light of the moon and taking that reflective state with us. And nothing needs to be done swiftly, too fast. And yeah, moving it along in our own beat of the drum. All right. Thanks so much for listening and much love, and I'll talk to you soon again. Bye.